Happy Derby Day, everyone, and welcome to the Maryland Jockey Club at Laurel Park for Today at the Races. I'm Dan Illman along with Keith Fustel. It is Kentucky Derby Day. We'll talk about our Derby selections a little bit later in the afternoon, but we've got some nice things cooking right here at Laurel Park. A 10-race card, the first two-year-old race of 2025 in Maryland, and the return of the Maryland-bred Horse of the Year. Post Time is back in race 6.
Yeah, I got to go with this allowance. It's 3 other than condition with a little date condition involved. Therefore making him eligible for this race. But yeah, all eyes going to be on Post Time here today. Perfect at Laurel for Brittany Russell, and interesting little equipment change. The blinkers going on. Blinkers going on.
We'll talk about that a little bit later. I saw Post Time schooling in the paddock yesterday. For him, he was cool, calm, and collected, and he looked really, really good, and he looks like he's ready to go as he starts his 2025 campaign. Before we get to today's card, remember that the Preakness is coming up, and the week before the Preakness is going to be very special at Pimlico, because the biggest party in sports is on Friday, May the 10th. That is Saturday, May the 10th. That is the National Thoroughbred League season kickoff. Lamar Jackson, of the Baltimore Ravens, of course, is the owner of the Maryland Colts team. Kind of an innovative little situation here where team owners, there are going to be 10 teams, they get to draft their horses in various races, they accrue points. The one with the most points at the end of the day wins the Pimlico Cup. There are going to be several of these NTL events throughout the year, and whoever has the most points at the end of the year wins the league.
A little twist here, and some celebrities involved, which is good, and it'll get an extra, I think, a little attendance out there and things to do for the whole family. As you can see, some food and drink, fashion shows, kids games, petting zoo, everything. It's going to be good. Maybe we'll see some extra Ravens out there on the 10th.
Oh, I think there'll be some extra celebrities out there as well. So not only the races, but some photo ops with Lamar Jackson and various other celebrities. Dr. J. Julius Irving is the owner of the Philadelphia team, which I think won the NTL last year. Of course, then we have Mother's Day on Sunday the 11th. It's one of the most beloved events every single year for the MJC. Mother's Day at the races at Pimlico, Saturday, May the 11th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Treat Mom to a wonderful day at the races. You know she deserves it.
Load up a voucher, hand it over, and just let her have some fun.
It's going to be a great time at the races for Mom. It's going to be a great time at the races here today, because just take a look at these weather conditions. The main track is fast. The turf is firm. We have a nice breeze. It's 74 degrees. It is perfect.
Beautiful, beautiful afternoon. I guess you can get out here, join us live. It's a long day, but you know what? Plenty of betting opportunities. I'm looking forward to this card. I think we'll have a little bit more, you know, in the price department today than what we saw on yesterday's card. Graham Motion with a couple winners. He's back live. He hit the ground running coming back here to Maryland.
Graham Motion and Jorge Ruiz teamed up for 2 on the turf. Jan Rodriguez, young apprentice, had a natural double yesterday. We're going to start things off with race number 1. We're going 5.5 furlongs on the turf. This is a claiming event for 3 and up, 16 down to 12-5, which have never won 3 races, or 3-year-olds take up the 2. Win no joke. That leaves us with a field of 7. This is the first leg of our first of 2 value pick 5 wagers. We call it the value pick 5 because of the low takeout. 12%. It is a great bet.
Hey, we got you a little one yesterday. Thanks again for Dave Rodman on quick notice, short notice. Was able to fill in for me yesterday. Had some business to attend to, but thanks for the Rod Dog. And he had coal mine, right?
Good value play. That was his value play. Very nice.
Yeah, I like that. So let's get it going with this 12% takeout. Early value pick 5. It's a $12 ticket. We got a small one yesterday. See if we can back it up today. 4-8 to get you started. Victorian Gold and Rye. A diggity dog right there for the Rod Dog. Race 2, 3 and 7. That's your first 2-year-old race of the year. Interesting. Scratch the 4 rerun table. Tab the total a little bit there in race number 2. Race 3 with the 1, 3, and 10. Whiskey in the Jar will be my value selection in there. Race 4 with the 3 and the 6. Maddie 10 off a Trouble Trip. We got video spotlight for that one a little bit later. Wrap it up with a single. Race 5, play of the day. Hysterics, Graham Motion, Ruiz again. Deadly combo, turf. Lots of things to like for that one. Going to be a shorter price, but I'll single that one in race 5.
Nice $12 ticket, inexpensive, and a chance for some big payouts. We'll start things off in race 1 with our co-top selection. That's the 4 Praetorian Gold. We have a trainer stat for Aaron McClellan, who does very well moving synthetic to turf. 5 for the last 10, 50% to 322 ROI. So you don't worry about the surface switch. Are you worried about the 243-day layoff?
Yeah, layoff is definitely a little bit concerning. concerning to me. Aaron McClellan has done better with her turf horses, I believe, here in Maryland, the dirt. This horse has shown the ability to sprint on the main track. It's going to have its first sprint on the turf course today. That stat spoke wonders. This horse, the last time it was seen on the turf, you got to go back to August against Thataway. A horse that's going to take some play later today, and in other than battled through pretty decent internals just to give way grudgingly. I think this horse can go right to the front end here if really needed. I want to go attack mode with Carrasco, if not just off of it. The inside horse might bring some speed. Question mark with Kissling as well.
I think Rye Diggity Dog is going to be perfectly placed, though, because this horse has tactical speed on the outside. We have a video spotlight for Rye Diggity Dog, and this just wasn't the most comfortable trip in the world. He was kind of on hold most of the way. Was it too late when he gets clear?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're talking about held up for about a little more than a 16th of a mile. We're going to follow this horse, this 6 horse coming into the stretch with Caramanos. I like the placement there.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes when you save ground, it can reach up and just kind of bite you just a touch, and it does here. Just kind of stymied. You can't get any momentum. Works out here past the 8th pole. Finishes up okay, back inside.
So you can argue he has time still here, though.
Yes, you can. I mean, you're thinking maybe a touch of a hang. I think maybe he might have kicked on a little bit better if he got outside. Sometimes horses, they go in and they flatten the touch, a little intimidation. All in all, I thought a pretty gritty effort. Coming back off of a break, this horse has run well off of a break in the past on the turf. Hugh McMahon first after 120 to 180 days for the last 18 down.
Look at the ROI.
Yeah,
$5.17. So
yeah,
I would expect this horse to be ready to go off for the layoff. And again, I think we'll be right in the thick of things when they turn into the stretch, and maybe we'll be on the outside this time around, breaking from this post. Talk me under freestanding, the number 3, another horse making the seasonal debut.
Well, I think if you like Rye Diggity Dog, you're out of that same race going back to October 27. This horse has been consistent enough. A win from 9 tries, 5 for 9 in the money. Brings, that late run. Will there be enough setup? I'm not so sure, but I think this horse is a player here. Ricky Silliman teaming up. We've seen this combination with Danny Centano. They do good work, and they do good work on the turf.
That one's your third pick. My third pick is also trained by Silliman. That's the 6 Borletti, a horse that I just think is going to improve getting back on turf. You look at the 2 most recent turf sprints last year. One was a really good effort in New York, getting beat in neck, and then the other one was at Saratoga, where he was kind of over and behind horses a little bit in upper stretch. I think he was steadied, but I think he was also beaten when he was steadied. But I just thought those horses were way too tough for him in that race. That race produced 2 next out winners. The runner-up won 2 of his next 3 starts, including a second-level allowance in New York with a 94 Beyer speed figure. So I just think Borletti fits in this race.
And we saw Classic Joke the other day get back to the turf course and really ran a bang-up race. Is now on our horses to watch list. That horse had some trouble. Far turn to the head of the lane. Really ran on one clear. I'm going to touch upon Kissling real quick. This horse was on and off my selections. I will use him a little bit in the exactus. By practical joke, only about 9% with the turf sprinters. Bottom side flipped the switch. Had speed. This horse showed a little different dimension. Was trouble last time. Finished up well. A little jump up here. There's some turf. This half-sister Designer, I think, ran well. Maybe like 2 for 3. Yeah, 2 for 3 sprinting on the turf. I give a little shot to Kissling. It's a little sneaky move here for Tromby.
We're both going to go with 4 and 8 in here. 4, 8, 3, 6 for Keith. 4, 8, 6, 3 for me in the opener on Kentucky Derby Saturday at Laurel Park. Race number 2 is our first 2-year-old race of 2025 here in Maryland. 4.5 furlongs. We have some fillies in here. We have some colts in here, but we don't have the morning line favorite. The 4 rerun table has been scratched. These are all first-time starters. It is a crapshoot. So we're going to go with a trainer stat. Trainer stat for the 3 Romeo. But before we do,
pick 4,
we have the 50-cent pick 4. And again, it's very important. You made a very good point before. Watch the board. You may not have access to that in your pick 5 wagers, but in the pick 4, you'll be able to see who's taking the early steam. So it's key. The pick 4, hopefully you'll pay a little bit better than yesterday. Again, you think there are going to be a lot more prices. We're both going with the 3 Romeo. Now we'll put up the trainer stat. Jerry Robb trains both the 3 Romeo, the 6 GQ Worthy, and Jerry with 2-year-old first-time starters on dearth, 4 for the last 14, a positive ROI. The X-Man had his choice of these 2. He goes to Romeo. That's good enough for me.
That's kind of what I read into it as well. We're going to trust in that. Bottom side Fancy Love produced Super Love, 1 debut, topped at a 91. Also kin to Patient Game. So you've got the first-time starter in there that's got it done. His family's okay. I'll take the shot with Romeo.
And the dam's a half to a horse named Addison Run, who was stakes placed in the
yeah.
76 buyer. You go way back in this family. You've got a champion 2-year-old in midshipman, so there's that precocity in this pedigree. As for GQ Worthy, Bo Liam, I think, is a very interesting first crop sire. He didn't run very often, but he was brilliant when he did. He won his first 3 starts. He was a grade 3 place dirt miler. They say milers make the best stallions. We'll find out. There's a lot of turf, though, in the bottom of this pedigree.
There's a ton of turf. You've got 2 of the runners out of 6 starters hit the board in debut. You're right. It was fast, man. 107, 106 buyer figure for Bo Liam on the go back. Has had 1 runner thus far, if I saw that correctly.
Yes.
A couple starts down in Kentucky. Really didn't threaten, but that's not going to really deter me from using this horse into the mix. Stroll tripping the filly here for Corrales. I think this horse is okay. Half the Rapido Rosa, game 3rd last year in the 2-year-old debut. Gallop 2nd start with a 59 buyer. That would work against this group, I'm sure. Draws outside, has to avoid that little duck out of the gate, but you got Hazelwood, Corrales combination worth a little look.
I think the inside posts going 4.5 are a huge advantage if you have any kind of speed, because it's sort of like our mile in a 16th race. It's such a short run to the first turn, and the other Corrales entrant, my boy Bud, breaking from the rail. If this horse shows any kind of speed, is going to be right there. 1,000 Words wins about 13% with 2-year-old first-time starters. The Dam won 6 races, but around 2 turns. And we know Jose likes to often give them a race or 2 before they do their best. Irving Flores has 2 in here. Let's talk about the 2, Fortune Hill. They're both by Fortune Ticket.
Yeah, you've got a half-brother that was 2nd to Speediness. Lone Sim, ran 2nd in debut, so there's enough for me. Only 4 offspring thus far for Fortune Ticket.
Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Hopefully in the winner's circle for us after race number 2. 3726 for Keith, 3612 for me in race number 2. Let's move on to race number 3. Mile and an eighth on the turf, 25 down to 20 claimers, non-winners of 3 life. Let's take out the MTO, the 7 penny loafer, and let's take out the also eligibles. Race number 3, wide open race, I think. I want to start things off, however, with Whiskey in the Jar. We have a video spotlight for this horse who raced twice on turf last year, was troubled both times. This is the first start where he is just completely buried in and among horses.
Yeah, this is a really, really tough trip. Look, bounced around there, 3/16 pole, just looking for somewhere to go. Gets a little bit late. This horse is run against the right kind. Now, recent dirt form, dulled a little bit. Maybe the turf will revive him. We've got Forrest Boyce. So you said before the show, I think he's better on the grass. See how he does in the new barn.
And Tim Keefe has been doing well with Forrest Boyce between March 23rd and April the 27th. This combination, 30% winners, a 446 return on investment. Now, we saw that race from Whiskey in the Jar. I bet him right back with enthusiasm off that race, and he was just hung out wide every step of the way and still punching on to get beat less than a length. I do think he's a turf horse. I think Tim realized that. I think this is a chance to be a very prescient claim, but he's going to have to kick down a speed from the rail named Cake's Arrow. We have a trainer stat for guess who? Brittany Russell. Last out winners making their 3rd start off a layoff between 180 to 365 days. They stay sharp. 36%, a $5.62 ROI. Now this horse is usually not my kind of horse because he could not have had an easier trip last time out. He went to the lead and was able to relax on a 2nd quarter, if you believe it.
If we got to believe
in
that, right?
26-3. No wonder he had enough in the tank to hold off the odds-on favorite in the stretch. That being said, isn't he making the lead again here?
I would think, looking at this field, he's got to go. I mean, if he breaks cleanly, he'll have a chance to control it. Now, he has shown on the go-back the ability to sit and rate and finish. Mile and an eighth would be the only true concern. That last 16, 70 yards, can we get that done with Cake's Arrow? But that stat speaks absolute volumes coming off of that turf course. Recency, Cake's Arrow. I do think the road is going to go through him, leaving mid-stretch.
Inchan is the number 3. Graham and Ruiz scored, dropped with horses dropping in class on the turf twice yesterday. This horse is dropping into a tag, and it's really a double drop into a non-winners of 3 life. He was just in against tougher horses, but he just really didn't pick up his feet at Tampa Bay.
Gonna need a perfect trip to carry him there. We saw Ruiz yesterday early in the card, very patient with some cover, found a seam and got it done. This is another one at a mile and an eighth. Got to time it just right, but definite class relief for this one.
I'm curious to see what we get from Steady John, the number 11. This is a horse coming off of a little bit of a layoff. Faced a couple of next out flat winners in his most recent start. The third finisher came back to win with a 73 Beyer speed figure. This is a big gelding that I think is going to appreciate the distance, but I wonder if he'll need a race to firm up his form.
So horse going all the way back to his debut, I thought was going to be okay. And he's run some bang-up races. Again, outside, I do think he's going to be fairly forward. I think he's got enough natural speed against this group to get into a stalking spot. The finish is a concern for me. But I think as a player, and you're going to get an okay price on that one. I tossed it to in a little bit for Schoenthal. I just see that 81.75 on the page. Time to regroup. In for the new barn. They'll shoot. Let's see if they fire and it hits.
But in the picks, I'm leaning on our top two picks, 1 and 10. I have the 11 and the 8 underneath. You're going 10 and 1. You have the 3 and the 2 underneath in race number 3. Let's take a peek at race number 4 here at Laurel Park on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. We're going 7/8 of a mile. 12,005 down to 10 claimers, fillies and mares. Non-winners of 3 life is the condition. We have a field of 6. This is the first leg of our middle 50-cent pick 4. We have early, middle, and late. Lots of wagering opportunities for you today, and we like a horse in here that had a little bit of hidden trouble, I thought, last time out. That's Maddie 10, coming out of the same race as Spirited Ride. And we have a video spotlight. Take a look at Maddie 10. She breaks pretty quickly in here, but I think the jock wanted to rate back, was a little bit conservative, and is going to end up getting a little shuffle here.
Yeah, no doubt. Was pretty keyed up and keen inside rivals. I was surprised to see that. That speed from Maddie 10. The jock went back, had to steady a little bit to the half, and then gets caught in a little bit of pickle, boxed in here on the turn.
Right outside of him is Spirited Ride, and I think Spirited Ride's doing a little bit of race riding here. They see that Maddie T is loaded. You don't want Maddie T to get out and beat you, so she is herding Maddie T in, stuck in behind horses. Now Spirited Ride's going for the wire. Maddie T is still in behind horses, and once Maddie T does get into the clear, it's a little bit too little too late, although I do like how she galloped out. As for Spirited Ride, she had every chance.
She did. She had the perfect trip off of that contested pace, worked outward, kept Maddie 10 in there. I'm going to give the edge to Maddie 10 because you hit the nail right on the head. The gallop out was good enough. She's won at 7/8 before. I think you're going to see another situation, maybe not as contested, but I think Eccentric and Please Marry Me will bring the flow in here. Just a chance to relax and not no pause, no trouble around the turn. I think we're going to get a little bit better finish from Maddie 10.
And Spirited Ride is probably the horse to beat, but I want to see her do it at 7 against Maddie 10, who's a proven commodity at 7, coming off that trouble trip. I'm happy that you mentioned Eccentric, because if you look at Eccentric's recent form, you got to be a little bit disheartened. The good news is, I think the Lasix off could be a huge angle for Eccentric. Go back to that race 3 starts back, scoring with a 48 Beyer speed figure. The 2 Lasix races no good. Rob's taking the Lasix off. Now, she must face older horses, but I think she can get to the front.
That's a good pickup. I completely whiffed on that, Dan. And she beats in my memories in that race 3 races back, who was in good form there and run a couple good races for Farrier. That's interesting because I liked her last time, and I'm like, how did she stop so badly? Something was going on. Good wake up in here. Add that one. I've got a cheap ticket. If you can, go ahead and toss it in there. Good wake up.
Now, you've got Please Marry Me in the mix as well. Please Marry Me is a horse that also has a little bit of speed, but it's more route speed. Do you think this race is more of a prep for turf season? Both of her lifetime wins have come on the weeds.
You're right. I think she is better definitely on the turf. And I don't know if she's got, against this group, if Eccentric says, okay, we're going to go ahead and rate, she's got a chance. She can carry it, I think, far enough. But again, I think the turf down the road might be a little bit better for her.
We want a cleaner trip for Maddie 10 this time around. 3,264 for me, 3,645 for Keith in race number 4. Race number 5 is coming up, 1 mile and a 16th on the turf. These are maiden claimers, 25 down to 20. Maryland breds eligible for 30. Take out the 11 and 12. First leg of our 20-cent Chesapeake Pick 6 wager. Now tomorrow, if it's not hit, mandatory payout, the last day of our meet before we head out to Pimlico. So keep an eye on the Pick 6.
We'll see Vinny if there's a carryover. I know that. Our man Vinny Perrone will be on the scene with that with his briefcase. He's going to have everything loaded.
Well, he's hoping to expect to carry something home.
Oh, that's true. We've done that a few times too with these carryovers, so maybe we can do it again.
If Vinny's here, expect hysterics, and that's your top pick in here, the number 2. We have a video spotlight for hysterics, and this is a horse that just ran well for Graham last time out. This pace was very, very solid, especially the third quarter, and she was forced to stay close to that fast pace and still finishes.
She stayed close and she stayed wide. She had no cover. So horses sometimes, to me, a lot of times in these turf races, they get a little bit lost and they lose focus and they don't quite kick on and finish. Not hysterics. She finished here. That was the first time blinkers. You're back up here with Ruiz. Winner came back, game second next time out on a little bit of a jump to the 35 2 in life with a much improved buyer. Motion Barn hitting on all cylinders here. Hysterics, I definitely have something because you're looking, who can you really trust? And there's a couple interesting horses,
yes,
tell
from
us
a breeding
about the
standpoint.
6 and 7 well, the 7's just a little bit of a guess. Bottom side, Greenlee Lake comment, Bobby Leaf factor involved. Yes, belated run at 5.5. I will throw into the mix. And the 6 in Still Regard. The Stallion's done pretty well with turf runners, more so sprint, if I'm not mistaken, than the route. But I like to finish a little bit of a grind late, moving up. You see Kitten's Joy on the bottom side. Half Sib is a turf winner. A little shot here. What we got on the line? 6-1 Mena. I'll take it.
And Skitley Dad is going to be a much bigger price. This Dan was a nice horse on turf. Monero with stakes placed on the surface, earned a 77 buyer. I'm kind of going with Positive Carry second.
Okay.
Front shoes off.
Front
First
shoes
time
off. That's
Larry
Larry's
Smith.
move.
This horse ran pretty well last time out. Was fourth at, I don't know who she was facing at Evangeline Downs, but she was chasing the favorite from the start in that race. The pace intensified on the second turn, and she just couldn't keep up. I think Victor's going to get real aggressive with her, try to make the lead, and we'll see how far she can carry this.
Yeah, she's run some bigger races up towards the front, and you're looking at the field. I mean, Hysterics, I think, has got to be forward when you break everything down. A lot of these horses just don't have any speed whatsoever. Tricky race to me outside of Hysterics. That's why I'm throwing in a couple shots.
Well, we have a couple of trainer stats to show you, and they both are for Michael Trombetta. We'll start with the 3, Lyric Street, who's my top selection in this race. Tromby first after 61 to 120 day is 7 for the last 26, 27%, $2.29 ROI. This horse is raced on dirt with various results.
Yeah.
It's out of an unraced half-sister to a Grade 3 winner on turf named Stratford Hill. Armistice Day was a stakes-winning turf router. The dam's a half to that one. So there is some turf pedigree here. By Street Sense should get the mile in a 16th. And I think this one will be a bigger price than the other Tromby first-time turf runner, the 5 Scholar. And we have a stat for Trombetta as well. Recently, this barn's been doing very, very well. March 30th to April 27th, 24% winners, a $2.19 ROI, and there is nothing but European and class turf on the bottom of this pedigree. And she got wired in her career debut. Tromby improves him second out.
He does. Dirt to turf angle is a positive ROI as well. So again, a little bit of a scramble after Hysterics, I think, here in race number 5. I'm going to hook that one up with some prices and see if we can take it from there.
2-6-7-8 for Keith, 3-1-5-2 for me in race number 5. 5 down, 5 to go. Post time coming up, and we'll be back in a moment to discuss the late pick 5.
Baltimore! To the city of Baltimore, to all the fans watching around the world, riders up!
They're off in the Preakness.
All eyes of the world will be on Baltimore.
They're head and head. Seabiscuit leads by a length. Seabiscuit is the winner.
And it was a powerhouse race again by the big, strong Secretariat.
Sunday Silence takes the lead at the quarter pole. American Pharaoh, phenomenal in the Preakness. And the filly did it! Rachel Alexandra! He wins the Preakness by a dozen lengths. Sees the grave, wins the Preakness.
Welcome back to a Kentucky Derby Day edition of Today at the Races. I'm Dan. He's Keith. 5 down, 5 to go. Race number 6. is the big one today for
future,
us. We're
yeah.
going 1 mile and a 16th. It's seen high-level allowance race with a 55 down to 44 claiming option. Take out the 1 Wild Vine, part of the entry. The 8 7s 11 has also withdrawn. First leg of our $1 minimum jackpot super high five, 15% takeout, and the carryover creeping up to 6,000. Remember, this has got to go tomorrow as well.
Yes, and you know, this a lot of people I'm sure are going to attack this wager with post time on top. We'll see if it carries over into tomorrow for that mandatory payout. But also, value pick 5 time, 12% takeout. Yes.
And we got a Mac Attack ticket.
Mac Attack ticket. All right, $36.
She thinks it's a pick 4, and I think a lot of people think so as well.
Yeah. Okay, singling post time. He hasn't shown he doesn't like to win at Laurel. He always wins at Laurel. We'll see if he continues that hot streak today. Race 7 with the 1, 3, and 8. Data Man and Forever Super rekindle their little rivalry. Race 8. The 2 and the 6. Another Hope. Autumn in Vermont. I like that horse in there. Race number 9. 3 horses in there. I know it's a shorter field, but this is tricky. Northern TikTok the 2, Cocktails at Noon the 6, and the 8 Juniper Juice coming back for Boniface. She ran a big race over this course last season. Race 10, finish it up. Yeah, a little bit of a maze. 1, 2, 4, and 7 for a $36 late value pick 5 again. 12% low takeout.
As public handicappers, Keith, we try to beat the favorite. Often in situations like this, I wonder if it's irresponsible to do so, because on paper, post time should win this race 95 times out of 100. Now, we are hoping expecting that maybe it could be the 5% chance that maybe post time isn't ready to go off the layoff. We threw some stabs out there. If I'm playing this pick 5, and I am, 95% of my money is on post time, and then I have one smaller ticket with my top pick, Feeling Woozy.
Yeah, well, Feeling Woozy, a horse, when you're looking at it, Dan, and I see what you're kind of seeing there. The last time the horse was on Lasix, airmailed, beating a good field with a 92 buyer, at this distance. And you break this race down. I mean, you've got Regalo in here for Russell. Has some speed, but Feeling Woozy, if he wants to really go, I think he could go.
I think he has to be at least close to the pace in this race. Again, he's not the most reliable horse in the world, but you're going to get a big price on him, and Lasix on might help him out. But let's start with post time.
Okay.
What a wonderful racehorse, and Brittany and Sheldon have done a great job with them. We have a video spotlight for post time. It's the Cigar Mile. It's his final start of 2024, coming on the heels of a gut-busting runner-up effort in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. It's not the greatest break for post time in this race, and post time has to fall far behind in the early stages. Now, post time is also racing wide. Sheldon, I thought, put him in a good spot heading into the turn, but when I talked to Brittany yesterday about why they were putting the blinkers on, she said sometimes Sheldon just has to wait on this horse a little bit. Post time goes when post time feels like he's ready to go. Sheldon is waiting. Post time's giving him the signal, and now post time is going to go a little bit late to change leads, but gives his patented late kick and falls short to 2 very nice horses.
It's just a really deep field here. This is a great effort, and he does have the experience around 2 turns.
He's a good horse around 2 turns.
Oh yeah, the Del Mar race in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. I really liked him in there. Big run.
Huge performance. Here's Brittany. You don't worry about layoffs with this barn. First after 120 to 180 days, 13 for the last 51, 25%, $2.56 ROI. I think our hearts are all with post time in this race. He's that popular. But you do have Shaft's Bullet. I think he's one of the more interesting horses in this race, because last year, before he went on the layoff, this horse was getting very good. Gary brought him back in a sprint. Something tells me that was just a prep.
Yeah, I think it was a prep, and again, second off of that layoff, we talk about it again and again and again. Second off for Gary Cap, it's a good move. Second Lasix, second time off the break. You're going to get that today. Had to chase a really fast horse last time. Did I expect a little bit more out of it? Yes. And I think he's been scratched since that race. But again, if I'm going to take a flyer, I know he likes this race course. He can handle the 2 turns. We talked about the real lack of true speed. I think they can go ahead and get aggressive and get this horse into the mix early. And man, if he's hanging around that quarter pole and under a little bit of rating, he's going to be tough through that final 3/16 of a mile.
Post time, obviously the horse to beat. If he happens to misfire, Keith's going with the 9. I'll see if Feeling Woozy can do it, but we'll see if Posty can come back in the first leg of our 12% value pick 5 and hope for that elusive Grade 1 victory in 2025. Race 6 features the Maryland bred horse of the year. Race number 7 is pretty darn good as well.
Yeah, it is.
1 mile on the turf, high level allowance race, 55 down to 44, optional claiming event. Take out the number 5, vote to no. First leg of our final 50-cent pick 4 wager of the afternoon. Again, we have early, middle, we have late. We got a nice little rivalry brewing here between two of the main protagonists in race number 7, most notably the 1 Data Man, the 8 Forever Silver. Let's take a look at a video spotlight on your top selection, the 1 Data Man.
Yeah, this is going back to April 20th over this turf course involving Forever Super. And Data Man, off of a similar break, runs a real big race. Settles in mid-pack and is going to make this steady progression right up here. It gets Forever to the inside and it just makes a solid run. Gets the pounce here mid-stretch. Going to win it clear by a length and a quarter. Now, you see a little bit of traffic in mid-stretch.
It didn't work out for Forever Super in this race. And he's firing once he gets out.
Yeah. Data Man was able to get full flight on that left fleet, straightens out. But Forever Super, I mean, these two are very close. Yes, recency, Forever Super. We've got that race as well, right? On a video spotlight. Did we add that one or no? Yeah, let's go to Tampa for this race, the Turf Classic, on March the 30th. And you see another sitting cozied up just inside the 2-horse. There's Forever Super.
Now, this pace is very fast. They went 46 to the half in a 9-furlong race. This is his first start off of the layoff, and this race is eventually just going to be dominated by closers. The fact that Forever Super is able to make this lead after going 3/4 of a mile and 1:10 off the layoff, his horse is still in very good form, and he's just going to get run down late in a game effort. I think he's more tactical, perhaps, than Data Man. I know that he changes leads better than Data Man in his races, and maybe, just maybe, he'll turn the tables on Data Man. Getting back to Data Man, however, he does have excuses for his last 3 losses. 2 of them at marathon distance. The other one's at one of those quirky Kentucky Downs races that I don't really pay too much attention for. I know Graham thought this horse would be better going longer, but because he has problems with his lead changes, I like him at middle distances. And again, he has had Forever Super's number in 2 middle distance routes.
He has. And I like this spot for him on the return with Ruiz. You might see, though, with him probably down inside, he doesn't, I don't think, quite have that positional speed as what you're going to see in this race with Trombetta's horse. I think we'll go ahead and stalk Sports Editor. I think we'll go ahead and go. Maybe a little cat and mouse game again from the top of the stretch to the wire, trying to keep that one hemmed in.
Talk about Sir London a little bit, getting back to turf, because this is an honest horse who was 3rd in a stakes race at Monmouth last year.
Yeah, I just think he's got to step up just a little bit more. Swisher, the 2-back race here at Laurel works for me. I just think he's just slightly a cut below a couple of these.
If you're looking for a price, how about the 3 Otago, giant price on the morning line? We do have a trainer stat for Kelsey Danner. Lasix on. 12 for the last 31, a $4.15 ROI. This horse looked good winning with Lasix at Colonial. Then runs at Kentucky Downs. I'm not interested in that. Then runs at Hawthorne over a yielding turf course. Not interested in that. And then last time out was the Turf Classic race where he had a lousy post position with no Lasix. I think this horse can outrun his odds.
Yeah, this horse is a little bit of a sleeper, a 20-to-1 shot. Exact to try Super is definitely a use. Yeah, got a real good tightener that overland trip against a pretty good group. Crystal Quest, that was the higher priced Tromby that got it done.
That's true.
Down at Tampa. Yeah.
Keith's going with Data Man. I'll see if the Superstar can take him down. 1-827 for Keith, 8136 for me. Let's move on to race number 8, 1 mile, 1-turn mile on the dirt, 25 down to 20 maiden claimers. Maryland breds eligible for the 30. I want to start things off with Autumn in Vermont. This is your top selection in the race. Autumn in Vermont just missed last time out.
Yeah, stretching back out after a trouble trip. You see going to 3/4. Squeeze back at the start, 7 wide, double key race, good enough for me. Going back out to a route of ground. This horse has improved in the Mancilla barn. I like a couple of his horses today.
I think Another Hope has a big chance in here, breaking from post position 2. I think he should show some positional speed. This is another horse stretching out in distance. He was wired by the favorite over a track that I had playing to speed last time out. Kind of got bumped at the start and didn't get as forward as she did in the 2 starts back. I think there's enough pedigree for this horse being by Union Rags to get the 1-turn mile. And the Jerry Rob Barn, maybe livening up a little bit.
Absolutely. You just kind of glanced at that breeding. You're right. Union Rags, topside, smart strike should be able to handle the stretch out. Part of that flow, though, I think is going to come from the 5. Tekka, Horacio the fast, second off of a break. Call that muddy surface overland trip again. I think these two, they're going to be your pace setters going into and around the turn. Lord's Lady, unfortunate little DQ last time with the crop violation, I should say, but took advantage, of the track that particular afternoon. Number kind of sticks out. Will she get enough setup in here?
That's the key, because not only did she take advantage of the track, they went 46-4 to the half mile, which is a blistering pace for 12.5 maiden claimers. We do have a trainer stat for Lord's Ladies conditioner Ferris Allen. Second-time routers, 29% of $5.89 ROI. And we also have a trainer stat for Tekka, the number 5, going out for Horacio de Paz. Tekka, what is it, 18 for the last 90 sprint to route? That's very good. $2.23 for Tekka, a horse dropping down after facing arguably better in New York. The third-place finisher came back and ran second in a 20,000 maiden there, got a 49 buyer.
Second Lasix factor, again, looking at the breeding, sure, Improbable, Bodemeister. Yep, I mean, the 2 and the 5 could take them a long way in here if they get away with it easy up front.
6.425 for Keith, 2.457 for me for race number 8. Time for the late double, race number 9. We are going 1 mile and a 16th on the turf. State sired allowance. Take out the 3, Da Boom. The 5, Mission Artemis. The 7, Roll on Jesse. Let's start with Juniper Juice. You mentioned one of his races from last year. He's your top pick.
I did. I changed up here. The other Boniface scratch. We're going to go with Juniper Juice. Has already won the Open A other than. And I think that was the key for me back in September. This was just, you see my short comment, 4 to 3 wide, cruised up to command at the quarter pole and held firm, opened up 4. There was no beating Juniper Juice that day. Mile and 8th, lack of Lasix, then a sprint. I think back out to what she likes to do. Maybe that way will go from the inside, give her something to spy. It's a shorter field in here. A horse like, Cocktails at Noon is going to have to stay, I think, fairly close by the time they hit the quarter pole.
What do we get from the 2? Northern TikTok. We have a video spotlight. I was going to send it in, but I said, you know something? Keith will find the trouble. And he did. This didn't work out. This horse had a perfect trip winning 3 starts back. This trip just doesn't work out at all, where he's just in behind horses and buried all the way until late in the game.
Yeah, this is just a brutal run. 5, 6 of them in front here turning for home, just waiting. He had plenty of run. I mean, there's just nowhere to go. Look at this.
This is the old Meadowlands harness death seat where you're stuck in there and there's no passing lane at the Meadowlands. You're just hoping for a run, and right now there's nowhere to go. Now Horacio is going to drop back to the inside, and Cocktails at Noon is going to finish with some interest. He galloped out very, very well. Kerry gave this horse a prep over the hurdles last time out, so I think he should be primed and ready to go, and I think he has enough tactical speed to stay at least in mid-pack.
Yeah, he's going to have to. I think, like I say, shorter field. That way, I think we'll try to go ahead fresh, walk the dog a little bit. But Juniper Juice winning that Open A, then back here to stay. I'm going to give a slight edge to Juniper Juice, but Cocktails at Noon, that was an awfully big jump up last time out.
Brittany Russell, Stuart Grant's the Elkstone Group, won the feature yesterday with Derbiness. Cocktails at Noon they have in here. This horse still has a lot of upside after only 3 starts. After this horse won last time out, if you just said, you know something, I'm sick and tired of having Brittany beat me, I'm just betting Brittany every race. This is what happens since the last time Cocktails at Noon ran. 29%, and you're making money. You don't need to handicap.
No, you don't need to handicap.
You don't have to handicap between November 2nd and April the 29th.
It's an easy game. Better than the market. I love this.
As for Cocktails at Noon, is this horse just at the mercy of pace and race luck?
Again, but you saw that jump. So a fresh horse, I think we'll be able to get close enough. I just think that little knockout punch that Juniper Juice brought back in September, that just still resonates with me. I'm going to need to get a little head start at the 8th pole. I think Cocktails and Noon will be breathing down my neck.
This is one of the better betting races in the entire afternoon, I think, because you can make a case for that away, breaking from the rail with Lacey. This horse was in exceptional form before going on the prolonged layoff. Beat 2 next out winners in his most recent start. One of those horses came back and won at Delaware with an 82 buyer. Now, maybe there's some other speeds in here, but breaking from the rail, Carroll can put this horse in a spot.
Absolutely. Those 2 will go ahead and go. I think the 1 and the 8, a little bit quicker, and I don't think Forrest is going to rush. we'll go ahead and spy, but I don't think she's going to be in any hurry for the first at least 3/8 of a mile.
And we'll close things out on a really nice Saturday afternoon card with race number 10. 1-turn mile for maidens, 12.5 down to 10. Maryland breds available for the 15. Field of 7 in this race. Wicked Melissa's your top selection in here. We have a stat for trainer Carlos Mancia. Limited positive. Experienced horses, blinkers for the first time, 20%, $3.02 ROI, and the blinkers may make all the difference. This horse improved with added distance last time.
Again, a little bit with the grain, improved with the distance. This horse, I think, is going to go okay and bring a fetch. We're going to need a little bit of help here with Missy's Map and Last Sassenach, but I'm going to take a shot. Both of these Mancias, maybe we hit on one, maybe we hit on two, but I think they're both live this afternoon. Brings a little bit of a run here. I think a little bit more focused and a positive ROI. We'll get her over the top.
Your second pick is my top selection, the 7, La Sassenach, who's going to be stretching back out. We have a trainer stat for Mike Girales. Third after layoffs between 61 and 120 days, 46%, a 348 ROI. 2 sprints to a route. We'll see how far this one wants to go. I know Wicked Melissa improved with the distance. Missy's Map is a horse in here that should show some big early speed. First time for the new barn. Bought for $16,000 at digital auction last month.
Little digital sale and looked, like a horse that just needs a little tweaking, possibly with some equipment. You see the comment, headstrong early, just really too keyed up. We'll see if they can get this horse to settle. If she does, I mean, she could be really tough to catch.
She's something else. The number 4 is in here. First-time starter for Kevin Boniface. A damn one 6 times on dirt. Barn did win with Mission Artemis here on April the 25th. Like the 6-furlong breeze to leg this horse up for a route. If you don't like the experienced horses.
Yeah, and the lone sibling did win second out, a 5-time winner. That was Summer Velvet, so some precautions there in that breeding.
1725 for Keith, 7413 for me. There's a little race called the Kentucky Derby a little bit later on this afternoon. You have an opinion?
Yeah, I've got a little opinion. My top play is going to be Sovereignty. This is a horse that you were on quite a while ago, and you kind of woke me up to him, and I really liked. I didn't expect that run first off the break. Just a determined surge to get up. Last time out, I think just kind of not all systems go, but went well enough and finished well enough behind a horse, Tapestry, I thought was going to be a major player. Unfortunately, was out. And that leads me to my value play. The other Brad
like
Cox
that
horse that stays in. Final Gambit, a 31 morning, I think hovering around 15-1 right now, a little bit of buzz. This is a horse, reminds me a little bit of Animal Kingdom when he got it done years back. 5th start, I think, of its career, now transfers over to the main track. This horse accelerated on the poly. I know the edge later in the card, closer's doing okay there. This horse reminded me of that. Horses, when I watch those races down at Turfway, they don't kind of explode. This horse made a good burst the last 1/8 of a mile out with a wide sweep. Machado, been watching some of the interviews, quietly confident he is with this runner. Sibling has run okay on the main track. I know you look back, it's a lot of turf, but I think they might know what they're doing. This horse has traveled well, in my opinion, in the mornings over the main track.
He should get the setup. There's going to be pace to set him up in this race. It's all about trip and whether he likes a little dirt in his face early. I thought this was mostly an inscrutable derby. I think journalism is obviously the horse to beat on Figs. Sovereignty, there's something there. I know he's slow on paper, but I just think there's something there. But they're both going to be short prices. So my pick in here is just a stranger, and that is Luxor Cafe, the Japanese horse. I have to admit, I follow the Japanese 2-year-olds very closely, trying to find someone. I thought Forever Young was going to bring it back to the promised land. It didn't work out. I don't think Luxor Cafe is as good as Forever Young. Maybe he doesn't have to be in this race, but a wet track is okay. Distance is okay. 15-1 on the morning line. I think he's 10 now. I wouldn't take a dime less.
Okay. Doesn't Sovereignty sound like a Derby winner
when
you go back and?
But doesn't journalism too?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He could write his own story maybe on Saturday. 22 minutes to post for race number 1. We've got a great day of racing right here. We've got a Kentucky Derby watch party going on inside. Come on down, enjoy the festivities. Fast and firm. Dave Rodman upstairs with scratches and changes, and then we got Mackenzie Pfeiffer, Dave, and Parker Hendricks taking you through the card.
Let's keep the handle rolling. Good job yesterday, everybody.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Laurel Park. Main track fast and the turf firm. Temperature in the mid-70s, winds out of the southwest at about 10 miles per hour. Here's a review of your Laurel Park program changes for our 10-race card. In the first race, scratch number 2, win, no joke. Scratch the 2. Number 5, Rennie, jockey Yomar Ortiz. Yomar Ortiz on the 5, Rennie. Second race, scratch number 4, rerun table. Second race, scratch the 4. Third race, scratch 7, penny loafer. And scratch 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. States United, Passion, Garden Leave. He's got swagger, Immortal Sin. Fourth race, no changes. Fifth race, for Brand New Dance is 1 over. Scratch 11, Learning to Fly, and scratch the 12, Bella Estrella. Sixth race, scratch 1, Wild Vine. Scratch 8, 7s, 11. Seventh race, scratch number 5, Vote No. Scratch the 5. Number 9, Crisper, jockey now Forrest Boyce. Forrest Boyce on number 9, Crisper, race 7. Eighth race, number 1, Nungemel Hypo. Blinkers last out, blinkers today. Ninth race, scratch number 3, Daboom. Number 4, Bjorn, 3 pounds over. Scratch 5, Mission Artemis. Scratch 7, Roll On Jesse. 10th race, no changes in the 10th. Main track fast and the turf is firm. Value pick 5s early and late with a 12% takeout. Race 6, Jackpot Super High 5 wagering. Chesapeake pick 6 today. Starts in the 5th race, the Chesapeake pick 6. 19 minutes to post time. Good luck this afternoon here at Laurel Park.